Phew! Bless me. Okay, so the other day I was unable to complete my walk. Basically, Lululemon had an event there and they took over the whole High Line for the whole evening, which meant I couldn't complete my walk as planned, which was to walk up from Battery Park up the alongside the West Side Highway in Hudson River Park on up to probably about 47th Street near the Intrepid. So I was also going to cut over to the High Line, walk the High Line, and then cut back over to Hudson River Park. But like I said, Lululemon took over the High Line, so I was tired, annoyed, so I went home. So now I'm back Monday morning, 9:05, and I'm going to try again to finish this walk because otherwise it'll bug me. So that's what we got going on. But, first, got to finish my coffee. Very good. So right now we are underneath the very end of the High Line. Over there you can see people lining up to go into the Whitney Museum of Art. And could take those stairs, but I much prefer the elevator. High Line. Close the door. So, while we're going up, just had my breakfast from the Donut Pub on 14th Street. They have another location on Broadway, and they make some really good donuts. Okay, so here we go. So this is the end, not of the video, I mean of the High Line. This is the bottom end at Gownsfort Street, and here we go. Ahead of us, straddling the High Line, is the Standard Hotel, which had some notoriety when it first went up, because people were basically being intimate in the windows for the world to see. Anyway, anyone who's seen any of my other videos will know by now that this is one of my two most favorite walks. Yeah, it's one of my favorite walks. Let's not say two, let's not limit it. But I like to walk here, Brooklyn Bridge, Central Park. Those are my three favorite walks in the city. And we're just gonna go straight up. See, now we're going under the hotel. It's only 9 o'clock, so it shouldn't be too busy today. Quick look back. Okay. So it's overcast today, which will definitely look different to the part one, the previous video. If you can see just over there is Little Island, where I came from the other day before trying to get up here on the High Line. So walked up from Battery Park to Little Island, and now I'm across the other side of the West Side Highway up on the High Line. Going to walk up the High Line to 34th Street, and then cross over the West Side Highway again and keep walking. Now I could have just left the previous video as it was rather, and just say that's all I intended to do, but it wasn't, so I can't. You know what I mean? Okay. So this is 14th Street looking east. Lots of good plantings along here, and some nice design elements like these sunbeds. On a hot day, there's even this little paddling section so you can cool off your feet. And on any other day, it's just a relaxing water trickling noise. Win-win, really. Okay, up here is one of these overpasses they use to move freight, product, whatever, between warehouses. This is where all the food vendors will set up. So the Action 4, while adequate in dim light, is not as good as maybe the Pocket 3 or the Action 5 Pro. So yeah, you get all kind of souvenir vendors and food purveyors setting up. For no good reason, I just felt like going this way.
Scary. It's very scary, but
So there are often different vantage points and things. Okay, so that's supposed to be a piece of art. It looks like a street light that's gotten lost to me, but apparently it's called Lay Day by Clara Lydon. But the reason I aimed the camera over here is that when you look up through those buildings there, you can see the Hudson River, and then across the way, I don't know if you're eagle-eyed enough, you can see New Jersey. Okay. So let's continue onward. So what I'm going to do, and you should forgive me for this, is I'm actually going to use some shots that I took the other day here. So this little, I don't know what you call it, seating theater, looks out on, I'm gonna say 10th Avenue. Let's see. Get it. So it's down at street level. Okay, so we just came from over there. And let us continue. Okay.
English, Spanish.
See what I mean about the interesting architectural design. I'm glad I did this early because otherwise you have to basically push and shove your way through to get anywhere on some of the narrower bits anyway. But it's still a very pleasant walk. Only takes about 20 minutes, 30 minutes, whatever. And usually along the way there are pieces of it's a very subjective thing, pieces of what claim to be art. And in fact there's somebody painting a really huge mural on the side of the building up ahead that we'll go by. So behind that billboard, now coming into view, all the way over there, is the Empire State Building. Directly up ahead is the main tall buildings of Hudson Yards, where the vessel thing is, and the edge viewing platform, which is, let's see if I can get it right, this bit sticking out there. Oh wait, that's a tree. Oops. So I meant that bit right there. Okay, continuing on. So we are in the closing week of September, and nothing is changing color just yet.
That's not very nice.
we're going to press on.
We're here with 2 men. You're not funny.
So if you've seen any of my videos on this channel, or if you've just seen any of my videos, you'll know that this is something I like to do. Just go outside, walk around, take you with me, show you what New York really looks like. And it's not all gruesome.
Melting-Pot hat dort auch schon jemand in die Ohren geworfen. Ja, Schmelztiegel.
Yeah, they all look like they're having fun. Okay, that's another mural. It's been there so long, and it still makes no sense to me. So, how'd you like to live there? Somebody does. Or in this bent building right here. Somebody does.
It'd be kind of weird that your living room.
Honestly, I couldn't, I think, live in one of these apartments right here level with the High Line, because A, the noise, and B, the privacy. There's a look at that building while we're close to it.
Nein, das hat so einen Schaden gegessen.
I think there's maybe one, maybe two more buildings that are in any way interesting. I'll take you around the part of the newest addition to the High Line, which takes you back over 10th Avenue towards Moynihan Train Hall, where you can get buses up and down the East Coast mostly. I imagine there's some that go across the country too, I don't know.
Very much.
I'm not fond of buildings that are narrower at the bottom than they are at the top. I don't like that concept. But I'm sure the engineers gave it their blessing. So at several points along the way you can see remains of the old trestles and tracks, and they integrated them nicely into this, well, what is an elevated pedestrian park. You won't find anybody going along here on their scooters or bikes. So it's a really good walk. Safe walk too. I think they opened something like 7 o'clock in the morning. Although why you'd want to be here at 7 o'clock in the morning, I don't know. To avoid the crowds, I suppose. But anyway, yeah. We are actually almost to the end. So, as you can tell, not so long a walk. Well, you might have to take my word for it. Depends how I edit this. That was strange. I was picking up the side of the other camera when I changed the view. So, yeah. So that's 3 places that I always recommend to anybody that comes here, and that's this, the High Line. There's the Brooklyn Bridge, walk across the Brooklyn Bridge, and then of course you can walk as much as you want in Central Park, but probably best in the daytime. There's some more of the tracks. I have talked about the history of the High Line in earlier videos, so I'm not going to bore everybody with that. Safe to say, it used to be a freight line between upstate and New York City for the transportation of goods. Like this one. So spread out along the length of the High Line are various access points and elevators and the occasional bathroom. Get back at that one. Hudson Yards dead ahead. So yes, if you want to come up here and you want to have the easiest walk without a whole lot of crowds, come preferably, I guess, before 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock. It's 9:40 right now, and you can see it's not at all crowded, which is exactly how I like it. So Hudson Yards, directly ahead of us now, is like shopping, restaurants, entertainment complex. That grey building there is the shed, and it expands or not, depending on their needs for whatever they're exhibiting or whatever performance is taking place. Alright, so we're gonna quickly run to the right and then come back and continue on our way. So, yeah. So apart from the Statue of Liberty and Central Park and Empire State Building, etc., one thing that New York is quite famous for, and it probably applies to most major cities, is pigeons. But I bet none of them have got pigeons like we've got. I mean, look at that. That's just what you'd call majestic. If it was any other species of bird.
Right. Like, do other, and I think that's where I'm saying, like,
It's huge. Okay. Let's get back to where we're going. So it's taken me, best part of 3 years now, I suppose, to get more comfortable just walking along, talking to myself in public without really worrying about what somebody else thinks. I mean, I have to, because it's New York, of course. Again, any major urban center, you have to be aware of your surroundings. Not everybody's going to be amused or merely curious. Some people are predatory, shall we say. So you have to keep an eye on things. So, yes. All right, so when we get up to where I made the turn to come here, I'm going to make a right into the actual Hudson Yards area. First, though,
È tutto il percorso che fa,
let's go to this side. So yeah, you can see this is some of the actual track from when this was in use. But what I wanted to really show you was this piece of art over here, which is how my feet felt the other day and how they will feel probably after this walk. Not a pretty sight. So, yeah, more high-end stores and restaurants and stuff. There's L'Oreal, there's Fendi, Watches of Switzerland, and inside there's a lot more hoity-toity stuff. So like I said, they have performances and exhibits in the shed, and it can roll back and forth to increase the inside volume. This is the vessel, which they had to actually cover with wire mesh fence because several people, since its placement here, have taken it into their tiny brains to jump off of it for whatever reasons. So yeah, they had to fence it in a little bit. And yeah, I don't really see the point of it. I do not like their photography policy either. They say you have to get a ticket to go up it. And on the ticket it says that any photo or video that you post online, they can take and use for their own advertising purposes. So in other words, getting the ticket implies your consent, which most people don't even know that that's on there. And I think that's a bit wrong. So they show movies here occasionally, in the middle of the day usually, and definitely on the weekends. Let's get another look up. So this is what they're showing this month on the big screen. Football games, college football, the Emmy Awards already went, Ryder Cup, WNBA playoffs are on, US Open is done, I think. And the Grand Prix, I'm not sure. So, anyone who's visiting, please know that none of these food carts are any better than any of the others. My wife says to trust anyone that has the soubrette blue and yellow umbrella. She says that's the only place you'll get a hot dog from. But I think they're all the same myself. So what we're going to do is go over to, up to 34th Street and then go back down over by the river. Okay, how y'all feeling so far? Not too strenuous, right? And if you're like me and you avoid stairs wherever possible and use escalators and elevators, you save your legs for when you can't avoid any gradients. Okay, so 33rd Street, sorry. Across the street, diagonally, that's the Jacob K. Javits Convention Center. Frequently called on, I should say, to act as if it was an airport in movies, not if it was an actual. A lot of movie makers think that nobody can tell that this is not an airport on the inside, but you really, truly can. So we're looking uptown right now. This is 34th Street. That's looking west. We've got the lights, so I'm not going to fool around with that. Okay, so there's the Javits Center. That's where Comic-Con is, and the auto show, and nearly every important show in the city. The bigger ones will be here in the Javits Center. Okay, onwards. There are a couple of heliports along here.
I don't see.
So if you're coming up 34th Street from the West Side Highway, on foot at least, this is another way in to the High Line. Alrighty, away we go. Okay, so we're back over here in Hudson River Park. There's pickleball courts, which is a stupid game. So there's a walkway for pedestrians, and then there's the cycle path separated, which is a very good idea. Didn't used to be always that way. Didn't always used to be that way. However you want to phrase it. Alrighty, onward. So I think when they filled in some of the gaps along this Hudson River Park with more things to see, do, whatever, it'll be probably, I can add it to my list of favorite walks. Right now it's a walk that I don't mind. This is Pier 76. We'll just dip in there quick. And this is entirely given over to recreation, relaxation. As a nod to its maritime past, this pier has propeller from the SS United States. I guess this was one of those ocean-going fellas. Yep, transatlantic. It broke the transatlantic speed record in both directions, and it's a record it still holds. Rated at 241,785 horsepower. It could achieve a top speed of more than 38.32 knots, or 44 miles per hour. And when you consider how heavy an ocean liner is, getting up to that kind of speed is pretty impressive. Just get over here. Bunch of tourism companies. Here, Pier 78. Now you can see there's a little bit of blue creeping into the sky now. I'm sort of thinking that it's not going to really take on anything like the appearance of a decent day until I'm done filming, so sorry for that. So, okay, wait a minute now. There was something I needed to tell you guys here. I can do it on the other side while I look it up. Okay. All right. So yeah, still to the right is the Javits Center. It runs from 34th all the way up here to what looks like 40th. So it's a very big complex and can handle any size. Ha ha ha. I laugh at your sign. So, yeah, it can handle any kind of exhibitions, conferences, gatherings, shows, what have you. Okay. So the New York Waterway ferries are in there. I've used them before. It's very convenient. Let's see, where can I get this angle from? Not here. Not yet. Okay, I think we should be good now. Okay, so this is a ventilation tower for the Lincoln Tunnel, which runs across to New Jersey. There's another one just like it on the other side, because before the days when mechanical ventilation was invented for these tunnels, it could get quite stuffy down there, I imagine. So it's continually cycling out exhaust fumes from all the cars that go through it. So we have this one here on the Manhattan side, and then right there on the New Jersey side. That's where the tunnel comes up. So, Lincoln Tunnel. All right. Let's keep going. Okay, the building over there, that is the Chinese embassy consulate. We're Pier 81 now, as you can see. You don't have to trust me. And we're coming up on the Circle Line main departure point. There are a couple of others. So this boat here is for the North River Lobster Company. You go out on the river, eat seafood, good time. There's a Circle Line boat coming in right here. Well, you can't really see it, but there's this boat called the Beast, which is like a high-speed boat. Goes out on the Hudson, out near the Statue of Liberty, and then back. It is. Get you a better look. So it goes at a pretty good clip down to the harbor and then back up. Here we go, the Circle Line, not busy yet. Ticket office is open, but I don't think any boats are running just yet. This is Pier 83, Circle Line. This will be Pier 84, directly ahead of us. Now look at the Chinese consulate there. Bringing it all the way back downtown. All right. On occasion they have the fountain here, doing little dance routine, I guess you'd call it. But since it's early in the day, I guess they turned that option off. For now, anyway.
Send a picture for you, Dad. Mine of Top Gun.
So now, this is it for me. We've made it all the way up here to the Intrepid Air Sea Space Museum. So anyway, thank you very much for coming along, and sorry about the interruption and the need to have two parts, but you know, blame Lululemon. Wasn't my fault. So appreciate everybody watching, comments, likes, and in the very rare case, subscriptions. All appreciated. I thank you all so very much. Take care.